into another edition of the Pacelli Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I am your host, Thrift Barringer, and now I am with defending state champion and one of the best basketball coaches we have in our area. His name is Bryant Thomas of the Lady Vikings. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you for having me here today.
All right, Coach. We were trying to do this last week, but then you were like, all right, come on, man. You give me a little bit more time to get some more games under my belt. You'd only played 2 games at that point. So now you got to play against Central. You got to play against Griffin. You got to play against Cristo Rey. You're 4-1 on the season. We'll start there, and then we'll talk about the games you played. How do you feel about your team here about a quarter of the way through the season?
I feel pretty good about our team, just getting out of flag football, and the kids are now switching their mindset from flag football to basketball mindset, and getting in basketball shape. Flag football and basketball, there's 2 different type of conditioning and, ability to run up and down the court. So throughout these past 4 games, we was able to get in some conditioning. So it's been very good. We had some good challenging games along the way too. So it's been good.
And we'll talk about those games here in just a moment. All right, Coach. So you played Central last week. I want to start there because you got wins over Griffin, over Loganville. You also won against them on Saturday. But I want to talk about that Central game. It's 2 of the best players in our area, Michaela Hosley and Jabria Lindsay. There was a packed-out gymnasium at the land, but you came up short against a good Central team. What did you learn about your team playing someone like that early in the season, even though they've played 11 games compared that was only your 4th game of the season?
Yeah, I learned a lot about our team. We're resilient. We'll fight. We'll battle no matter what's going on. Conditioning kind of went down. We had a couple of injuries along the way. And then you just know the timing of games, how to close out games. We haven't got to that point yet. We're still working. As the season get better, we'll get better. And I expect our girls to be more back to where we was, to close out the season last year. Probably a couple more games in, to kind of see where we at. But that game was electrifying. The crowd, it was a lot of good plays from both ends.
Right.
It was a fun environment to be in.
And Coach, you need to have those games because here are the scores for the other games that they played. Heritage 74-28, Cristo Rey 59-17, Griffin 60-27, and then Loganville, which is a competitive game, 51-38. You came from the same cloth and the same tree, Corey Black. Winning these blowout games and being undefeated doesn't mean you're going to win a championship in the end. You got to play some tough teams that you may end up losing. That's why you scheduled a Central. That's why you're playing in the Carrollton tournament. So you feel like now 5 weeks through the season, you're 4-1 right now. Do you like kind of where your team's at?
Yeah, I like where we are. Defensively, we're catching up. Offensively is behind. That's probably about right starting now.
Right.
That's where we are. And then, just get in the gym, keep working. We got to get better at the free throw line. That's one thing that we're focused on today is had to come in and shoot 100 free throws already. So that's where we at right now. We know we got to get better at the free throw line because we're going to get to the free throw line. We've been doing fairly well taking care of the basketball. Like I said, the defense is kind of where I thought it would be. The offense, we still got some room to work on, get better at.
Michaela Hosley's putting up close to 15 a game, Coach. She's putting up close to 5 rebounds. She's got multiple assists. She's getting close to 4 steals a game. What has she meant to you in your program now, year 2, and it seems like she's taken her game to a whole nother level, but now she's also playmaking. She's looking and trusting her teammates. So talk about the progression you've seen from her from being the GIAA Player of the Year last year, and she's still getting better this year.
She's been a great asset to the school, not just for basketball, flag football.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't, she'd have been back to back with flag football. We're 3-time state champs flag football. But on the basketball court, she does so much. She can score. She could, 3-level score. She's starting to make the right plays as far as being a playmaker and understand that a lot of game plan is going around to stop her. So now she's starting to trust her teammates, let them make plays, and then once she starts seeing that, she's able to get it back and be the player that she could be. Athletic and defend, ultra shots, and that's where creates those opportunities for us to get out and transition.
Looking at your team, and I've called several games already here in this early season, this seems deep, Coach. You're playing 10 players. Now, I know we'll talk about some of the injury bugs that are going through the team right now, but you're playing, everyone's getting significant playing time. You got new additions like Jayla Kendrick, who's been great. Of course, KK Jackson, Zaniah Crouch, we've known her. She's been a starter and an integral part for the last 3 years. The deepness of this team. Do you like the fact that you can do a platoon and go 5 in, 5 out, trying to find the different sets that work? I know that interests you as a coach. Do you like the fact that you're deeper than in years past?
Oh yes, definitely love that. And like I told the girls the other day in the locker room, we can play a lot of different styles.
Yep.
We can take the ball out of your best defender hand. We can play fast. We can play half court, and that's what make us so good. At that point of playing different teams with size, we can kind of change the pace of the game, and that's one thing we want to do is control the pace, the tempo. So being deep, when other teams got to go to their bench, that's when we kind of want to put our foot on your throat. If you got to go to your bench, we believe in our bench. Our bench is working, and Zaniah Crouch did not play any in the Central game. She didn't have a good practice and she didn't play, but we talked right after the game and she stepped up. I said, if you're gonna be a part of this team, we're going to work. We're going to work. And since then, she getting the point. She got the message that now you just don't walk in. We always been talking about being humble. We just don't walk in and win a basketball game. No. So now the team is understanding like, oh, coach ain't gonna play around with us.
No.
So that's where, kind of where we at right now.
And I like the fact too, you like to press. Okay.
Yeah.
You like getting after it. When you can go 9 or 10 deep, someone gets tired, you can bring them in and still implement your system. And it's nonstop, constant pressure. Is that how you kind of envisioned when you started building this program 3 years ago, who was struggling to even get double-digit wins, and now you've gotten to a point where you're 10 deep running the system that you've been bringing in for the last couple of years?
Yeah, we just want to be versatile, and then we want to be able to, have work on our skill development with our players, if they want to go play at the next level. But we want to be able to change the game up how we want to play it. If we want to play fast, we want to play fast. The Griffin game, we played a half court most of the game because we knew we had so many games this week. We actually played 4 games this week. So, the Griffin game in Loganville, we kind of played half court a lot, kind of work on some stuff. But, we switched it up, when folks go to their bench. So that's what we kind of try to capitalize at once people start going to their bench.
All right, let's talk about some of the injuries, some of the girls that are out right now, and what's the progressions going with them, Coach?
KK Jackson got hurt like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the Central game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, scored 50-51. Next 2 possessions later, Kamora Jones, she's out. So
who's been so improved this year, Coach.
She makes shots for us. She do a whole lot of little things for us. And I didn't know she was out. I, look back to, sub her in, get back in our rotation, and I hear she's going to the emergency room. So I'm sitting there, my mind kind of messed up in the middle of the game, but hey, we finished it out, and luckily, good thing that her health is good. She was able to come back to school the next day. She played a little bit in Loganville game.
Wow.
So she's back. KK, we haven't got her back on the court yet. She is moving and walking fairly well, so she'll be down with the trainers today.
Okay.
Hopefully, we can have her back for Friday.
Yeah, and let's talk about the schedule, man. Holy smokes. Got East Coweta on Wednesday. We were talking about it. You're going to do some film work here these next couple of days, get your team ready for East Coweta. I will tell you on Max Preps, and that's the beauty of Max Preps, when they put up their schedule and stuff, Coach, if I could click this on, they're 5-3 coming into the season. They're also a 6A school. So another big time school coming into the land. We're going to have it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But then the game's happening on Friday. It's 2 of the top teams in our area. It's Hardaway and Pacelli, 8 o'clock at Muskogee County Christmas Showcase, CSU. I know you're ready for that. The entire community's ready for that. Then you have to go on the road to Carrollton, and you got a showcase playing 2 games. And so you got a pretty tough slate these next 4 games. Luckily, the Hardaway one is not really on the road. It's going to be at CSU, but what's going on, Coach? You love scheduling tough games, don't you?
I guess being around Corey Black a little too.
It's rubbing off on you, man.
Yeah, so we got a tough week. We got East Coweta that's coming in, that's been playing fairly well. So I get on the scouting report, video, film on that today. Actually, the girls will be doing it today. They'll send it back to me. Then we'll kind of talk about it, start game planning for that. Like I say, Friday we got Hardaway, which would be a great game. I think we match up fairly well with with size, guard, and I think on both sides there's some players on both sides. So it's going to be a good game. Should be there. It's gonna come down who's gonna take care of the basketball, who's gonna rebound, and who won it the most.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna come down to. So we're excited about that. Then you say next week we go to Carrollton. Hardaway lost in the state championship last year. Maynard Jackson won it all last year, predicted to win it again this year.
You play them.
I got them, and then following the next day, we got Rockdale was in the Elite Eight Final Four somewhere. So, hey, we want to play the teams, that can give us the push and kind of see where we at, see what we got to work on, so we can get an eye on, different types of styles and different types of defense. So we'll be prepared once the playoffs come.
Expectations for this slate. I know you want to win every game, Coach, but what's the ultimate goal when playing against teams that are not going to be who you're facing off against when you're playing the state championship? They'll help you when you face those teams, but what are your expectations through this slate heading into the Christmas and New Year holiday?
Same thing as from the Central game. You take something, you can always go back and pull certain stuff from film and say, hey, if we would have did this during this
right.
this time of the game, this probably would have worked out. Understanding game situations. So that's what we kind of want to pull from each and every game, whether it's a win or a loss or learning experience. There's always an opportunity to learn. You just want to be able to pull stuff from each game, and then you can show your kids where you can get better, where we messed up at. And even if I mess up, I can say, hey, I should have did this, So that's what you want to get for those games.
Sign me up. Sign everyone up. 8 o'clock Friday night, Columbus State. Georgia Alabama Sports Live is going to get it. It's Hardaway and it's Pacelli. It is the two best teams in our area. Can't wait for it, Coach. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you in 2 weeks, and hopefully you're going to be 4-0 or around 3-1, hopefully during that stretch. But thank you so much. Good luck during the Christmas holidays. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Coach Calvin Thomas here on the Pacelli Coach Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing Sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls Night Out.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
Welcome back to the Pacelli Coach Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Live from the Beck Center. We are presented by the Beck Center of Academic and Athletic Success. Thank you to Roger Beck, what he does here for the community, and what he does for Pacelli too, and their athletes, but just everyone around the city of the Tri-City area. We appreciate Roger Beck and his support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Coach, before we get into the season, kind of talk about the Beck Center. When I come in here and you've got 4 different sports, you got baseball, you got wrestling going on, you got team meetings going on in here, you got cheerleading and dance going on somewhere else. That was the sole purpose of this, and it's really good for your athletes to have a place to practice and not have to go and rent other gymnasiums or whatever it may be.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Roger Beck. Great person. What he has done for us with this facility is a blessing. Like you said, it gives us the ability to be able to have certain things, multiple things going on at campus, not have to go rent places,
Right.
and everybody having an adequate amount of space to practice or to have team meetings, even to have study hall sessions. And we also have a top facility training room down here. So you can also get rehab and prehab. So that's a blessing.
I know it is, Coach. And your team has been blessing. 5-0 to start the season. Had a tough game against a really good Heritage team. That's a feisty team under Coach Joe Jerome. But we'll start before we go into all the games. How do you feel about your season and then your team right now, 5 games into the season? Do you like where your team's at, Coach?
I'm definitely loving the progression. We still got a long ways to go. Every day, like I tell them, we're 0-0. We're coming out to win today. And if we do that, then I like the end result.
Looking at some of your leading scorers, I talk about this, and I said this on the show last night, Coach. Mekhi Williams and what he's capable of and the potential. And there were so many people commenting. It's like everyone knows about this guy's potential, and now you're starting to see it kind of the confidence come out underneath the coach. But I want to talk about another player, though, Michael Rowe, who before, and we'll get into his injury, was putting up 20 and 12, man. The guy has been dominant against really good teams. Talk about his progression from his freshman year, who was a really good role player, to now being a dominant post presence. I know that's a pleasant sight for you.
Absolutely. Michael Rowe is, a great kid. Great kid. He comes in and works every day. Very humble kid, which makes a difference. And one thing that me and the coaching staff has been working on is just building his confidence, getting him in positions in practice where when it goes to the game, it translates over. And like I said, he's willing to come in, listen, learn, and all of it is showing. All of it is showing in the game time.
Yeah, it is, Coach. And another guy, Mekhi Williams, talk about his confidence that, for one, in that Chris O'Reilly game, 30 seconds into it, man, heck, not even 30 seconds, 5 seconds into it, he's throwing down a tomahawk jam. It seemed like he's like a man on a mission. Every time he gets it, he's trying to take someone's soul. Where did this start coming out, Coach? And you're seeing the progression with his jump shot. He's really been a great playmaker for you.
Absolutely. Same with Mekhi. Me and the staff, we've been intentional with him, getting him to get out of his shell. And he still has a ways to go, but you're starting to see slowly each game he's starting to become who he is.
Right.
A great player and can score on all 3 levels. So like I tell him, you continue to work, continue to build that confidence at practice. And the sky's the limit. It's the limit.
He's got the D1 body. And
Absolutely.
everybody would say that. And then I got to ask about the leader on the team. That's Jalen Bush. He sets the tone. Okay. But the senior, he comes in, he's buying into your vision, Coach. He is nonstop relentless on defense. He's also got a lot better offensively. He's putting up 16 a game. Talk about what he's meant to you here in your first year at Pacelli.
Man, Jalen Bush is a dog. He's a
Straight dog.
And I tell people all the time, I don't tell people, but in my head, he reminds me of a bigger version of Talik Williams. They used to be at Harris County.
I know you, Talik. Yep, played at Georgia State. Yep.
Absolutely, man. When I tell you, and he goes hard on both ends. That's rare. Nowadays you like to see people go a little harder on offense and not, hold back a little. He goes harder on defense. And I love it. Every day he shows up to practice and he shows up. You get that same Jalen Bush every single day. And that's all you can ask for as a coach.
Now, you start off against Heritage. That was down the wire. Not winning by a good win. Remember, they had already played 6 games. That was your first game of the season. Then you beat New Faith by 14. You went to Carrollton, was down, 12-0? 15, something like that, the 2. And then all of a sudden, Coach had to get into him a little bit. And then you end up winning that one 61-44. Coach, you gave up 29 points the rest of the game. You scored 59. So after that, you played Chris O'Reilly. Now, this was a rematch in the semifinal last year. They got one of the top scorers in the entire league and one of the top scorers in the state And coach, from start to finish, it was just nonstop dominance from them. You won that one 74-49. It was really more of a 40-point beatdown. And then you took on Loganville, a team you played in the state championship last year, go on the road and win by 17. Do you like how your team's getting better each and every week? Do you feel like you've had kind of a misstep, or do you feel like your guys are doing what you expect them to do for the first 5 weeks of the season?
I think we deal with typical problems. Sometimes we get stagnant. Sometimes we don't pay attention to detail, and you know that's what I'm trying to teach these guys is how to play basketball the right way. And in doing that, you have to pay attention to the small things because they make the most difference. So I definitely like our progression. Like I said, we still got a ways to go, but if we continue to have that tunnel vision and work the way we're working, then you know that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, and let's talk about this upcoming week, Coach. You play in the Heard County Showcase against Callaway and Lithia Springs. That's Friday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday's Callaway, Friday's Lithia Springs. Then you play in Tift County Showcase against Warner Robins. Then you play at State Farm Arena against Terrell at December the 26th at 2 p.m. And then you're playing in another tournament, and that's in Carrollton. East Paulding, and the other school was Mount Bethel. A tough stretch, coach. It's a lot of public schools, a lot of teams that made deep runs in the playoffs in their respective classifications. And then you start, of course, your region play. You got Calvary, Westfield, and Brookstone, the 3 games after the New Year's holiday. But what's your expectations going through this gauntlet of games? What do you expect? You got 5 of them. Pretty tough, coach.
So before I answer that,
6.
Before I answer that, I was supposed to get back with you. You know, we lost the Washington, D.C. game
Yes.
on December 13th. So I end up picking up another game, which will be January 3rd. We will be playing Dothan High, 7A out of Alabama.
Right here at the
And
land.
they'll be coming to us.
That will be on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Yeah, so that'll be a good test for us as well, you know, as they made deep runs the last 2 or 3 years.
So that's 7 games, coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you want to do? I know you want to win every game, but like Coach Black and I know Coach Bryant, you probably have the same kind of mentality. You want your guys to get better, and you want them to start buying in the system more than it is about winning the games right now. Is that correct?
That's very correct. You know, we want to better ourselves, and the only way we can do that is if we let iron sharpen iron. So I want to throw them in the fire so we can learn, get all these teachable moments. So when we get down the stretch, you know, we're used to it. We're comfortable in these positions. And that's what it's about, you know, putting ourselves in situations now that can teach us later on when we really need to show up.
Sisters of Mercy had their unique uniforms, which was really cool, and their Marion blue with the Sisters of Mercy cross that was on the left shoulder. That was a really cool thing to do. I got to ask that question. I like the uniforms. Are those going to be kind of maybe a staple alternate that we can see for all sports throughout the years here at Pacelli?
Absolutely. We're going to get them integrated into all 15 of our sports, which I'm excited about. You know, I know the kids are excited about.
Yeah.
But most of all, you know, that moment was special, you know, for the Sisters of Mercy, all that they have given to our school, all that they have given to our community, just showing them a token of our appreciation.
How's it been these last couple of months as an AD? I feel like it was just ripping and running. First month and a half, 2 months, it's everything slowed down, or is it really kind of picked up even more now because you're in season 2 as a coach? How's it been here these first 4 or 5 months, and how's the family been at Pacelli helping you get along the ride?
So I am grateful for my Pacelli family because they have been helping me left and right, which it was needed. It's like football season had kind of swayed towards the end, and you get your feet up under you, then you come with basketball,
Right
and
after.
then come with everything else. So it's still going, but I'm still enjoying the process, and I'm still grateful to be in this position.
Well, Coach, we want to say thank you so much for coming in. Hopefully, we got an undefeated slate, and then we get Dothan here at the land. And then, of course, we talked about it. You got Calvary, Westfield, and Brookstone, some high-level games. And I cannot wait for region play in this area, Coach. We get Calvary, Brookstone, and Pacelli all in the same region. We get all of y'all playing. That's 6 games. You playing each other. And then in Muskogee County, you get Carver, Spencer, Hardaway, Columbus, all those teams playing each other, too. It should be a great time in the city. And my final question is basketball in this city. You got Central. Y'all do actually play Carver in the MLK CV Hoops Classic coming up January the 20th. How great of basketball is it in this area, girls and boys? I think like there's a lot of high-level talent and teams in this area.
It definitely is. You know, we have a lot of talent in this area. And like you said, different schools, Carver, you know, you got the Hardaway girls, you got Harris County, you got Pacelli, you got all these schools with a lot of talent, you know. And I'm excited to watch. I always love to watch good basketball.
Right.
You know, you got great high level coaches in this area.
Yeah.
You know, I love to watch the coaches coach because you know you can learn stuff from them.
Exactly.
So you know, it's an exciting moment for Columbus, and I think it can only get better.
Well, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Good
me.
luck, and we look forward to talking to him next time. It will be after the new year, and hopefully we're talking about they just dominated through this stretch of, man, Heard County Showcase, Tift County Showcase, and then Carrollton Showcase. So a lot happening, and then they're playing the State Farm Arena against Harrell. So Pacelli Vikings on full display around the state here. It's the Pacelli Coach Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by the Beck Center. We'll see you next time.